One of the tendencies of man is to try to keep all the law, even down to the last jot and tittle, so that we can be justified by our good works. But that's not what the Bible teaches us. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Wednesday. It is all too easy to become a legalist in the realm of Christianity, or seeking to be a Christian anyway. When you look up the definition of legalism, it tells you that it is a strict adherence to law or a formula of rules to be kept. And actually, it goes on to tell you the Christian definition. It is a dependence on moral law rather than on personal religious faith. Now, that's a pretty good description of a works salvation. So many Pharisees in the New Testament prided themselves on their actions before men. They didn't really care about pleasing God or about their relationship with God. So Paul writes in Galatians chapter 3 and verse 10, "For all who rely on works of the law are under a curse. For it is written, Cursed be everyone who does not abide by all things written in the book of the law and do them." Paul is saying that many are relying on the things they do to save them, rather than trusting in the things that Jesus has done. You see the difference there? I mean, we could look back to Calvary to realize all the works that are necessary for our salvation were actually done there, where Jesus took on our sins and he died on that cross and he rose again victoriously. He warns here that those who rely on the works of the law are actually under a curse. You see, the Old Testament law was so crucial for the people of God. They needed to learn how to live for Him. They needed to learn how to live within community setting without offending those around them. But the law was called a schoolmaster later in the New Testament. It was supposed to bring us to a mature faith in God. You realize it doesn't take long for a person to understand they can't really keep all the tenets of the law. So trying to keep the law is like a curse that a person lives under with no relief in sight. Over in Romans chapter 3 and verse 20, he says, "Therefore, by the deeds of the law, no flesh will be justified in his sight. For by the law is the knowledge of sin." Even though we gain knowledge of sin by the law, we find we are unable to keep it fully. Romans 3 and verse 10 said, "There is none righteous, no, not one. There is none who doeth good. There is none who seeks after God. They have all turned aside." So we see the error of trying to keep all the law. The other problem that comes when a person makes up their own list of laws that they want to keep. Legalists seem to be justified by keeping their own rules of their own laws. And there are two kinds. There is the long list legalist who have this plethora of rules that they think are so important that they have to keep them in order to find favor with God. And then there are the short list legalists. Those are the ones who think they're justified if they just keep a few rules. And usually those are the thou shalt nots, right? My sister's class had a great slogan. "We don't smoke and we don't chew because we're the class of 72. Well, that's kind of a cute slogan for a pep session, but it's not really a lifestyle that justifies a person before God. Cursed is everyone who doesn't abide by all the things in the law and does them. So if we can't keep all the law, we can't be justified by our good deeds. What can we do? Well, we'll be talking about that in tomorrow's devotion. But the main answer is not to rely on ourselves and our goodness, but to trust in Jesus Christ and His perfect righteousness.